Oh, I get the other sentient. Well, the other Awoken. So we have sentient now. We have 2 stings, hallowed drippings, another... Hey, Wildwood Custodians come back. Plated Sealed Daedalus, Scourgebird Arcus, Seraph the Impatient. So with Arcus and Seraph, both don't play into stings or cultivating. And we Seraph the Impatient, which without a silence, if we're going to be spamming heals to kill stuff, that's also bad. And stings. We're going to take a Winged Steel over Flicker's Liqueur. Flicker's Liqueur. This isn't too bad explosive. We don't have the extra heal, which we normally like if you're going to explosive, but with the potential slightly faster draw, plus some consume cards, and dregs thin the deck right out. And the Wildwood Custodian, we can do that. You found the new Sentient Tree is fun? I probably think I'm going to find it fun, because I thought the old Cultivating was fun to start with. I have a feeling when I do get around to a pick where I take it, I'm going to find it very similar. I think the change is more just to get people to actually take it instead of not taking it. Still don't understand why they took 40 hit points off a final form, though. That feels a bit unfair. It simplifies the choices people need to make with it. I don't understand how, but I haven't played the new one yet. Cultivate is icky with morsels? Yeah, I can imagine that. Oh no. And we miss out on the goal. Red Shop's good. Sting somewhat good. Or can of Sting somewhat good. How do we beat this Seraph? We need something with very high damage. I wouldn't mind a ragey guy with the hat. What else would we take? Hey, Chromo. It's a Tog 1 day today, is it? Yeah, baby tech. Little space. Alright. Come on, Sludgy. It's not a sludge. I wonder if Baron is enough here. Maybe. Consume the stong. Baron is a win con. No, Baron's a sort of going to be a backline DPS unit. And he'll be an integral part of a team of things that make the entire deck stronger. Hanukkah's over, your kids had a good time? Oh, that's good, man. Glad your kids enjoyed the holiday season. So in regards to Christmas, Do you do anything in terms of that celebration? I know it's, you know, a completely different religion, but it also somewhat has a generic festivities to it as well. Chinese food in a movie. Is that that's the running gag standard Jewish Christmas, right? Which is also actually what, you know. But do you partake in any of the generalist festivities, or do you view it all as pure Christian heathen only? It's a meme, but you legit do it. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Chinese food in a movie sounds great. New City has a walk to see lights, encourage buying from local shops. Yeah, COVID's ruining a lot of stuff, hey? Let's go ahead and take a sap. We've had extremely low, like the majority of second half of the year, we've had 0 new cases on the daily report for Corona. There's been a couple pop up here and there, usually from when we. I think all of them actually came from when we opened the borders up. So we got them from dirty other parts of Australia. And despite that, a lot of the local yearly Christmas stuff has been cancelled, just to be cautionary. And one of them was met with a bit of contention because they're like, "Why? Everything's open here. Like movies are open, and there's no restrictions or anything." And the government just sort of said, "Well, like, do we really want to? Do we really want to risk it? We've done it. We all went sort of without a lot this year. What's the point of sort of like forgetting like all we've done and then have something happen?" Which may or may not be a little over the top, but I kind of agree. Like, although it's sad because it's one of the outdoor activities that I actually do on a yearly basis. Was one of the ones that was cancelled. I'm like, I would have liked to have gone to that, but. You sent a lot of cases from the UK. Take them back, Demon Thorn. That's pretty true, man. With that's kind of like where a lot of people around here are at. Like, just have zero fun for a year and a bit or whatever, and then, hopefully we can get back to some semblance of normality. Well, that's true, Valkyrie. Anything could happen. I'm just thinking about the entombed explosive at the front of Sentient. It's a nice thing to go off and blow up, but I'd rather just draw a heal, I think. So we have two things we want to do. We want to definitely get multi-strike on our dude. We also want to do things with our Wildwood Sap and our other cards, especially in line of there's a Hell Vent there. we're going to remove cards, so we're going to want a Hellvent, and then we can hit other Merchants of Steel instead of like that Hellvent. So I think I'm going to go Merchant of Magic this time, because we should be fine in this fight without our boy getting bigger. I think we could just unconsume it. Actually, you know what we do? Or because I want to dupe it first, and I don't want a whole bunch of unconsumed ones. I'm happy playing one for it though. Let's go here first. Okay. Let's get the skull. The damage shield's also good for Seraph, but I think we should be able to stay in front of it. Let's just unconsume that. And we can -1 it somewhere else along the line. We can all watch Shawshank this year. Is there a Christmas scene in Shawshank? There has to be, right? He's in there for a long time. Favorite movie, can't remember if there's a scene. Good job, Panz. The changing seasons, yeah. I wanted to play this out. I'm like, I'll play that out. That way I don't draw into it again. I guess I already have regen anyway, so it doesn't matter drawing a 0 and increases. If I'd had no regen, that would have been a problem because I wouldn't have started stacking it. It's a little... Oh, hang on. There we go, it's alright. Good. So easy draw take from here. And I think we're go home. Oh, man without hair, and Warmaster Khan. I got out my lead pipe today in Cyber Panz to start getting some street brawler points. Got up to level 3, got my free perk point, and then swapped over to shotgun to sort of Grab that free perk. The problem is the first level you get gives you like percentage that improves combat with that weapon. I'm only using this weapon on like 1 or 2 enemies at the end just to get some of the low level level ups with it, because they're quite cheap to get, like most RPG level ups. Are you converted to a shotgun monster? The shotgun's kind of fun. And then like at level 3 you get a perk point on every rank on every category. But then levels 4 and 5 are just stuff that helps you do damage with that type of weapon. It's like, I don't actually want that. I want the perk point, but I don't want to grind to level 6 with it. You know? Did you do the monk quest? Where you save the monk from the... Don't want any of those. I can't remember the name of what gang they are. I changed to lead pipe. I lead piped everyone, and I took some down non-violent takedowns. I get to the end and he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can deal with this, that someone else died." Like, no one else died. Maelstrom. I used a pipe. It's non-lethal takedown. And I suffocated the other ones. Non-lethal. Like, they're just passed out. Well, he was just following his what is it, Buddhism? Which is totally fine, but I actually non-lethaled them. And it's like, no, I non-lethaled. I non-lethaled. We're taking draw. Passed out, crumbled up in a trash can, yeah. They did not die, Chromo. Don't lie to me. What are we duping here? Wow, seriously, what are we duping here? I mean, this is a vortex, so I'm probably just going to remove the stews. Because everything else is what I want to keep in my deck, or it's 0 or whatever. Yeah, you definitely want to play across all the skill trees to level 3, because you get a perk point for doing that, right? And then the next one, I'm pretty sure all the skill trees just have gains related to that skill tree at level 4 and 5, and all of them have another perk point at level 6. But level 6 takes a bit of work to get to. So I don't know if it's... And then level 7 and 8, I think, are also towards that skill, not generic skills. So I don't know if you want to go past level 6 in a skill tree you're not actively using. But maybe if you think you... That's where it's hard to know, because you get to the end of the game and you're still having to kill with your main... You're still having to, kill with your main skill trees, and if they're maxed out, that could have been a few extra kills you got with something else earlier. Dude, when you dump the body in the trash can and you get the little Taco Bell bag, that's great. Do you think we take a skull? Yeah, you can only progress the skill level to the same as the attribute level. Like, so my stealth and cold blood are at 4, but I'm putting points in reflex. But I'm still stealthing around. Man, this is... I think it's a skull here. I think what we're going to want to do is... This is going to be for early kills. wonder if I should have... Did I have an opportunity to I did have an opportunity to permafrost it. Oh, you got the hulking brute gorilla arms? Nice. I wish that... I was saying this on stream. I wish games would realize that you don't have to be crouching to stealth. Like... And for some people wearing sneakers, they're going to make more noise like squatting down, walking around. One, it just puts you so low to the ground from a viewpoint. I get it if you want to... Like, if there's a railing and you want to stay below the railing so someone doesn't see you, that makes sense. But if you're just walking around hallways and stuff... It's faster and usually quieter to be doing that in a stand-up like position. It's definitely faster. Like, why can't you sneak behind someone? Like, why do you have to be crouched to sneak behind someone at painfully slow pace? Why can't, if someone's walking away from me and they're talking on the phone, why can't I just stand up and quietly walk behind them at a decent pace to snap their neck? Why do I have to let them get away from me just so they can turn around at the end of the hallway and shoot me? Because game balance? Yeah, well then balance the game better. Like, I think that's left over from old school games where, I don't know, like that was the thing. You could only sneak if you're... You know, and it makes no sense. Why... We talked about this yesterday while I was playing. I can just imagine someone turning around and being like, oh, why are you crouching down there? You can't see me, I'm stealthy. No, you're just crouched in the corner. I can still see you. No, I'm stealth. No, I can see you. Here, look, I'll shoot. See? I shot you even. You can't do that. I'm stealthed. It's like, well, you know. It's a game trope. That's it. I think it's left over there. And I think there was an opportunity there to... I can understand being a little bit slower. You know, just a little bit. But have different view heights. Attack one enemy, everyone in the compound knows you're there. Okay, so that only happened... Like, I've now had... today I had several katana kills where I went in with a heavy attack which staggered them. And then as long as I kill them in the next 2 swings, no one knows. And you also have to have a little bit of distance, which is totally fine, right? So that no one's hearing the actual combat noise itself. Yeah, when games acknowledge that you're crouching, that's kind of fun too. Enemies just don't get it. Wow, what a terrible draw. I kind of think about that too, very smart, where if they're networked together and you don't get to kill them from stealth, they get to tell a friend, right? They're literally phoning a friend. So that's kind of cool. Or obviously, if you start shooting up the place with an assault rifle, everyone's going to hear it. It's how you explain most of the funny bugs. Yeah, a cyber wizard did it. Really? I now have to make a choice whether I want to take this If I want to take 24, or if I want to lose one of my petrified skulls I just duped. We've got a lot of health. And we're going to Pyre Remains. Take 24. How broken the crafting tree is. What is it in terms of broken? What's happening there? With the right perks, you could make something for X components, then get many more in return for breaking it down. Yeah, that's kind of a little silly, right? But, you know, if you're going to put the time in and just sit there and do that, it depends like what the time investment is worth, right? And then people will say, oh, but you could run a script and do this and come back 5 days later. It's like, if you want to do that to your game, you know, although it shouldn't be like that, I definitely agree, it shouldn't be like that. Hey, we've got a couple stings. That would have actually saved us some health that turn. Exploitable? Yeah. Well, it depends. We'd have to look at how much you can get and how much effort. Plus, then you've also got to put the perks into that. So, what does that cost you in terms of gameplay, right? Where you could have been putting those perks into something else. You probably get to make a weapon that makes up for it, possibly, or add enough upgrades to weapon. Paintings don't have vending machine price. Someone was saying that, yeah. So you sell it to the vending for 4k and buy it back for 5. Yeah. Engraft, like with a holdover, is usually really good here. Because you keep your same amount of card cycle, but you get a ping, you get an explosion every turn. But I'm just wondering against this, Sarah, if it's, you know, if it's something we want to be doing. Especially since we're going to be going to that Merchant of Steel, and we've got 2 Merchants of Steels. We've got no pressure to take. We don't really need the energy side of it, so we're probably better off just cycling. Or having the restore. I don't know. If it's as bad as Skyrim's infinite potion enchanting smithing effectiveness, it's broken. I don't know. It comes down to someone would need to do the test and see how much time it takes to get what, and then you'd work out if it's just a small exploit or actually broken. And then also it comes down to it's a single player game, so if you want to do that, you know, you're probably better off just finding a cheat code for, you know, 1 million inventory items or something. Which is funny, because someone would say, oh, I don't want to use a cheat code, I'm not a cheater. And it's like, well, if you're doing something that's obviously exploiting the game, you're not a cheater either, but the result is exactly the same. One of the differences is you didn't have to sit at your computer for 10 hours grinding out this inane, obviously, oversight in the crafting system. You can make gloves with 60k armor and a ring to give you 60k% more unarmed damage. then you punch a dragon, it flies off into the sun. Nice. You give a pass to speedrunners on that thought? Yeah, well, no, speedrunning, entering a cheat code, that's cheating. Speedrunners sitting there to grind out 10 hours so they can get a bunch of gear, that's probably not helping their cause. Speedrunners and exploits equals entertainment? Sometimes. Watching some dude like spin around a couple times and jump twice and end up, 50 meters in the sky, walk for 30 meters forward, fall down on the other side of the final boss, and roll ending credits after like a minute gameplay. It's not really entertaining. That's a minute of my life I want back. Card is consumed, deal 30 damage. Yeah, that could be interesting with those. Give me that. I think watching a best of or a highlights of exploits and glitches found in games I think that could be entertaining. Watching someone run through a whole game using one, yeah, just give me the highlight. Show it to me at the key locations where it's really funny or does something kind of cool, and then I'd be like, yeah, that was good. Spell shield. Oh, this is fun. It'd be nice if I could spike that. Oh, you know what? Let's just take that guy now so I don't have to worry about it. This one's about not dying. We don't need to harvest a lot. Yeah, piercing stings are great, hey? One, 2 kills. Okay, we can just do that. You know what? Let's leave that. Oh, we don't want to kill that guy. I should have hit that. I should have. Does it matter? Yeah, if the extra draw. Probably should have also hit the razor sharp, maybe. Maybe not. Get him. You're whinging about work. I love the warning. Feel free not to engage. Hey, this sensor hasn't reported in data in 5 months. Why? 5 months. You waited 5 months to ask us about it? I have no idea why it's been working for 5 months. Oh, man. So, are they assuming that you know that it hasn't been collecting data? Like you're tapping into it remotely, and every night on your overnight automatic tests, you're getting a null response. And as a business, you're just choosing to ignore that despite the fact your client's paying you. Like, is that what he's assuming? When in reality, it's like they're supposed to be collecting the data and doing what they want with it and tell you if something goes wrong, in which case they haven't for 5 months. He's working at a church and it's a censure. That's terrible. Oh, do I need to bottom floor here? Boo. Oh, I can't play this now because he's in the way. What an idiot. I can understand that one. Someone who just looks at a temperature sensor and goes, okay, temperature's the same, makes sense, I keep the room air conditioned. You know, that one, that one's passable, right? I just drew that again. Nice. But for someone to know their sensor's actively not working. That's the only thing I can think of, is that they thought you were also monitoring whether it was working or not. And for whatever reason, they're like, why haven't you come out to fix this sensor that's not working? Because you haven't told us it's not working? Oh, we need to tell you. Rally, okay. Let's just put that there. I know I don't do any damage to Arcus now, but I'm okay with that. You're operating off the knowledge that the fridge freezer is constantly cycling, and any time the fridge freezer is accessed, our device picks up that fluctuation. Oh, you're talking about the one where it was frozen for a few... Yeah, so it's not going to maintain it. But what... You've got to think, like... That one's possibly fair. I will agree with you that... I will be happy that you're agreeing with what I said about your being a little bit harsh on the customer on that one. Which is understandable, because... it's really hard to put yourself in client shoes. Sometimes. Because you have the inner working knowledge of what's happening, right? The other thing too is, like, for that one, what sort of readout do they have? You know, is it a needle gauge, or do they have a digital? Like, how precise is it? Whereas the first guy that started this one off, where it just wasn't working, we're assuming that if it's some sort of LED display, it just wasn't lit up, and he's like, "Oh, my thing's not working," and then just walked away. And it's like, really, you're not gonna do something about that? It's a digital readout on the device, accurate to 2 decimal places. Let's go. Makes you wonder how often people check it too, because that's valid. Like, are these people that should actually be checking that it's a different thing? Oh, hang on. There is a curious question here. You mentioned that your system sees that change, right? No, the knowledge. Wait. Oh, your device, not you. Okay, my bad. I was went on to a thought. No. Even the constantly changing one, I think you're either working in an area where you're too busy to check, or it's something that your business is not actively checking. Which, it's strange, because most businesses would be checking temperatures of things. You would think that, you work in healthcare, if it's some sort of place where they're keeping medical supplies that need to be cooled, one of the daily things, if not multiple times daily, would be check the temperature of this cupboard that the like this cold cupboard that supplies are in, and write it down on some sort of document so we have a temperature log. You know, we're just drawing here. We're just drawing. That way too, we can see if the temperature gets too hot, we don't lose a whole bunch of expensive product. But yeah, that first guy, I agree. You don't know what his deal is, neither do I. That's a strange one. We want to find this multi-strike, right? What are we removing? Look at this, we're just removing dregs now. This is great. When the deck... Look at it. Hallowed Drippings does 30 damage. When Unstable Vortex is an easy, just remove a drag. Wow. Multi-strike. Oh, this is going to be painful. I think we're fine on the double heavies. I'm a little concerned on the final damage. A job assigned to the newest low-ranking pleb who just does what they're told and doesn't know enough to question yet. Yeah. Or someone who's old enough to not give a crap anymore and knows don't question when you can just palm it off with I didn't notice. Yeah, so it's all well and good for your system to keep a record for them, but which is great because now they've got an electronic record, so it'll never miss having a temperature recorded. Maybe you need to have a more expensive system that emails someone if a temperature is outside of a range. Although that wouldn't help the one where the temperature was exactly the same each time. That would be something else you put in your system. If you get a X amount of temperatures exactly the same. Email, text, and phone call. So what happened with the one let's go with the one where the temperature was the same. You know, obviously you're not emailing them that they've gone out of range because the device has picked up the same temperature within range. Like that's obviously an issue. Right? One, the fact that the device is frozen is an issue, right? But the fact that if the device freezes within an acceptable range, like that could be something that's detected. You just have however many checks in a row with the same readout. Something goes to client to say, please check your device. The one where it's not working at all, that should be an automatic. Please check your device. Yeah, I'm gonna try this one. Mainly because I just want to see how the deck performs. And we're fairly high health. I think we do okay. And I'm a glutton. That's a fair assessment. I wonder if I get the razor sharp round again to kill this one off or not. Probably not. Multi-checks, I'm taking notes. I'm glad I'm able to help in some way. I can't remember what it's called, but we used to run tests in a lot of software stuff when things were working too well. So you have obviously the automated testing for when things are not working, and that's a really easy test. You run a test, you get a result you don't want, then it sends an email in the reports at the after all the testing saying this is broken. You know, and that's okay. But testing for when results are just too good, something that I can't remember when I first came across it, but it was something that if I was working somewhere and they didn't do that, it would be something I'd suggest because what's that thing? It's too quiet. Like it's the movie thing. It's like when it's too quiet, and you know stuff like something's got to be bad. And in that case, it's usually something that is supposed to be doing the testing is broken, so you're not getting an alert, or your alarm is broken. You know, that's. I think we're just using the killer thing with him, right? There's definitely a term for it, yeah. Oh, you're inside the box? I mean, TeamSpeak is probably the closest one to that I can think of off the top of my head. But it's not that. Groupthink? That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, so the advantage you have there with the small client, the small company sizes, you might actually get it done, right? You've got more of an ability to make changes to stuff. Oh, that goes there, that goes there. A Petrified Skull is a good card. Now Seraph's gonna double melee weakness, which sucks. I wonder if this is going to come down to, do I have enough damage? Or do enough rejuve? Healthcare definitely is something. Easy trial. Okay, come on, multi-strike. Come on, multi-strike. Now, what am I worried about the most? Not so much the damage output, because we've got I think the consume cards and the stings and stuff are the like the Petrified Skull is going to do a lot of work. It's really coming down to the rejuve. Yeah, melee weakness a little bit. So we could plant a dreg to take melee weaknesses and not use our multi-strike guy, and that'll take one of the melee weaknesses. We might be able to plant a dreg the next turn, but I think we're going to need more rejuve. To beat Seraph. I'm just concerned that leads us, we're not drawing as much. We'll still draw. We're not exploding as much, but we're going to be using the Petrified Skull to do that. So I don't want to get rid of the dregs, because actually I want to use them. I don't think I'm going to need to use the Hallowed Drippings, but it's a 0-cost card to draw. If I can plant the Wildwood Front, it's possible to never take damage. Yeah, Seraph attacks. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know if I'm going to need those. I think the 30 damage isn't as good as just playing them. Let's remove them. But the dregs we actively use, so I've got to not play them. So I'm kind of stymieing my own cycle because we're trying to prevent against the melee weakness. One of the reasons to possibly have kept the Hallow Drippings was I can play them on another floor to draw. But if that's the case, by not having them, we just draw the next card anyway. Endless on Wild? Interesting. When he gets played, just put him down again. When he gets killed, put him down again. And we're putting him down the turn Seraph isn't there. And then Seraph's killing him every time. Worth giving the Baron 5/10. Yeah, it is. I mean, it could be at the end of the fight. I like this as an option. Because what that does is it means we... And I don't want to remove the dregs in case we get them first. The problem is if then we draw into Wild, we just put him on a different floor. Yeah. Endless makes melee weakness. He dies, then Seraph's leave, you get weakness. No. We kill all the units on the floor. Seraph hits him. Oh yeah, we get 1 melee weakness. Means we have to... No. We can put him somewhere else, so we can alternate. So that we get 1... Wait. We get 2, but we don't have to deal with the hit every time. So we're not going to... It'll give us a stagger. Right, and it's only because we're over-moneyed. I think if you're tight for money, you wouldn't do it. So what happens, Chroma, it's effectively the same as if you didn't have them, except you're going to deal with 2 melee weakness every second turn. Whereas now we're going to deal with a 2 melee weakness every 4th turn. Or we can take a hit from in between, we can take a hit from a smaller enemy, maybe. But I don't think they'll be around. We'll be killing them all off. It's one of the downsides for explosive against this guy is you kill off the enemies too quick. So they don't hit to reduce your melee weakness. Well, you can, but then you're interrupting your own rejuve growth to do it. That's gross. So here we get 1 before he leaves. And this is the same situation as if we had a Wildwood. So what we want to do is not have other enemies. Actually want to take this hit, I guess, then? Wait for that to come back around again. So we'll probably get Seraph fairly high, but if we can be close to full health and have regen fairly close to what he's got. I have to think about our little dude here, what I'm going to do with him. So we can place him up front now, and if Seraph does come up top, he gets that melee weakness at least. And Seraph kills him and then leaves us with one. The downside is we're not growing our Baron too much because we're trying to get the kills elsewhere. And Seraph is coming up top next turn, so we do want to kill off one of these. Oh, I should have been using a regen to do that instead. So he is coming up top next turn. I think I want to just play this guy now. And this is the last turn. We're at 40 regen. I think our regen is much higher than his base attack now. But we're 60 damage, 80 damage, and 150 damage for, we're looking at like 20 turns. And then the same amount for some more turns. It's gonna be close. I should have played another one of those. Yeah, we've got more than 20 turns, right? We got there. Oh, plus the 40 from healing relic. Plus, yeah, 40. That's a good point. And Baron. Into like, what do we go, 3 stores looking for his multi-strike? He didn't want to play. I like explosive. It's fun. It's just fun. It's I think that feels more Smork than Rage Champ. Because you play the card and the damage happens. You don't have to wait to hit end turn. That's like real face card. Go face. Let me go face.